Uh, Welcome back. Sorry for being absent. I was having some changes going on at work over the last 2 weeks, so I haven't been able to do my devlogs or really work on the project at all, for the most part. So this will be a very, very short devlog as far as the content that I have to share with you. Um, but this is more so just so I can give you an overview of what to expect in the next week. Or this week, I should say. It's a Tuesday here, but I believe in the States it's a Monday. Monday, yeah. So, but anyway, um, as you can see, I was able to get a little bit of artwork done. This and a few other pieces that I'll show you a little bit later. But as far as the game goes, I'll hit play here. There we go. Wait for that to load. Alright. As far as the game, only a few things have changed. Aside from the visuals of the player UI right now, which everything still works the way that it used to. I was able to add a experience bar. Just to let you know, the experience bar is supposed to be connected also to our pause UI, but I haven't fully figured out that. So again, I haven't really been able to do any programming whatsoever, outside of the quick changes that I made. I think maybe like the weekend before. I was unable to continue my devlogs because of work. So that weekend, the things that I was able to knock out were to initiate the experience bar, which you'll see. It'll be right here, showcase there, right underneath our energy bar. You see that, and will reflect over here underneath our experience script. You'll see us go up a level, and then our experience, of course, will calculate and add up. The only thing that I wasn't able to put in, because it does take a little bit more knowledge to do, which I didn't have at the time, was to make our experience to the next level change as we level up. So that's something that I'll have to go back in and do. But I wasn't able to do it the weekend of my last devlog. I believe I had done this, and then after that, everything else was just me finding free time to add in this player HUD, this new image HUD for the player UI. So, if you look to the right, underneath our player experience, as we destroy this enemy, you'll see that we'll gain, I believe it's 36 experience as our current experience. There we go. And oh right, almost forgot. So I also got room transitions down, so they are exactly how I want them to be now. I'm not sure if I had that in the last devlog, but now it does what it needs to do. Very easy changes in the script, in collisions and stuff for the camera. Still unable to jump, but I can still attack in this room, so we got that down. And I'll go back and fix that, of course. So I'm going to pull him over just a little bit, just so I have time to run up to him and destroy him. And if you look to the right again, you see that we now gained one level. We're at level 1. We have 24 experience left over from the 36 that we needed to get to level 1. And, it still takes 48 experience to get to the next level. So that's all I was able to get done. Also, you can see that the experience bar went up. I need to make this more vibrant, of course, maybe animated. That way it stands out. That way people can actually see it. Then again, it's not really too important. You just kind of want to know where you're at as far as experience and what's giving you the most. Of course, when we press start, I want that to better showcase the distance you are from your next level, what the requirements are. So everything that we're seeing on the player script, current experience and experience to next level will be showcased. Oh, and level, of course. Everything on the experience script, as far as the variables, will be reflected on the pause UI. But I'm most likely I'm not going to be able to get to that this week. I need to do more artwork in completing the full area of completing this area of the game, so that I can work on more things. Once I get this whole entire area fully completed, that will be when I'll be able to move on to different scripts and stuff like that. But for the most part, it's just going to be scripts that are definitely needed for majority of the game, that need to be established now. That way I don't have to worry about it later. Aside from that, I did some more artwork, trying to break down exactly all the enemies that you'll run into in the first area. And so with that, I thought it was very important, as far as me being the artist, to know, especially because, you know, at some point I'll have to draw destroyed animations and stuff for the enemy and for the player. So I wanted to have like a breakdown of what the mechs look like. On the inside, I had been watching a lot of Gundam Origins in my free time, so seeing how the Zakus and stuff were created. I took a lot from, of course, always from Gundam, and a lot from Code Geass. Those are my two main references when it comes to this stuff. So with that, I was able to do a naked version of the, I call it the all-purpose castle with the enemy mechs are called. So the main one that you'll see is the all-purpose cast, and this is what it looks like underneath. I drew a little cockpit so people could see it. Of course, I want to do an enlarged version for myself personally, just so I know what it looks like. I haven't fully decided on if in the game you ever get to see the player or the pilot of the mechs. But I did do it to scale so I could see how big, you know, I always got to keep that in mind, how big the mechs are in comparison to a person. So this is it. It's not even, it's maybe the size of the shoulder, exact shoulder of the mech. So he would fit in this cockpit here, and all that. So that's what it looks like naked, with the shell on, the adamant shell. It'll of course look like the final piece down here. I also wanted to get into scale some, I want to say, for the world that this is based on, of course, before mechs. Just like any mech story, you know, mankind had to build up to mechs, and before that, of course, they would have jets and, you know, that type of vehicles for fighting wars and stuff like that. So I wanted to get it back. I wanted to develop a little bit of that background of the world military before mechs showed up. So I drew in the jet just for that. I'm gonna do in some more, because of course we'll see other stuff like tanks and, you know, jeeps and all sorts of vehicles that are kind of modern for today, but then, you know, have their own twist for the universe that this is in. Anyway, so this was just me messing around with the mechs, getting able to see what the mech looks like underneath the shell that's put on top of it. Of course, right here is the original one that I got. This was the very first one before I even got the player mech completed. All mechs look like this, so they all originated from this one. But of course they had to differentiate, because this one looked a little bit too humanoid in my personal opinion. So of course I wanted to change it. It looked too relatable, and I loved how I did the head. Of course, you know, kind of reminiscent of Samus Aran. So had to change that. Didn't like that it was like that, but I respected it. You gotta throw respect to Metroid and Samus. So made changes to that, of course, and we got where we're at now with the current cast. Of course, I probably won't even be using this model exactly. So I developed a new one to make it look more military, and in that, you know, I gave it a nice little helmet. It looks a little too Japanese, so that may change also. But I was able to do that. I made a melee class, and I wanted them, just like the Zakus, to use an axe. Some of them will have swords and stuff like that, but I felt like an axe is more, would be better utilized, because these things are doing more than just attacking other mechs. They're needing to break into places and stuff like that. So, because they're supposed to be a part of kind of like an oppressive military. So that's how they look. So I came up with that one. Also came up with a sniper class. Here it is. This has a tripod for its weapon, so I have to actually animate that. It would take a knee and unfold the tripod, placing down its large sniper, and then of course it would fire and stuff like that. And then I also made an SMG class of it. This one of course would just carry a shield, hide behind the shield, and when it's not actively using the shield to protect itself, it would fire at the SMG for the mech. And here it is again with just the mech. I also took a quick look at a very old anime movie that I'm a pretty big fan of. I enjoy watching it. It was definitely a large part of my childhood growing up and being exposed to anime. The name of the movie is Jinro's Wolf Brigade, which is kind of like a very interesting Japanese play on Little Red Riding Hood, but like the original Little Red Riding Hood, where Little Red Riding Hood is actually the antagonist and the protagonist is the wolf. So yeah, it's pretty much like that. So took inspirations from that. I wanted to have a heavy class of the mechs for the enemy side, and of course, in them being heavy class, they have to have a very special appearance and stuff like that. But yeah, so for the most part, that's all I had been able to get done. I had finished this stuff up, I believe, yesterday, and so now, you know, so I'd have something a bit more completed to show you guys. Outside of that, which you can expect is more artwork. Unfortunately, I want to add more to this list of mechs that you'll see in the first area. You won't see all of these designs, but in the first area you'll run into enemies. I'm trying to establish everything that you'll run into for the first area of the game, even though it's pretty short. It's large, but it's going to be a very short area as far as exploration. And it also have I wanted to make it an area that you have to come back to unlock various things, so I'm still designing around that. Most of it will be basic though. Once I can get that stuff down, I'll put it inside Unity, that way we can move around and see everything. And of course after that I'll have to go back in and change a few things with the movement script, the controller script, and the attack script. But before I get to all that, it'll definitely be doing more background stuff for the rooms, and more mechs that you run into, more mechs or enemy vehicles that the player will run into at the beginning of the game. And I think that right there is already a lot that I'll have to focus on. So I'm gonna leave it there. Thank you guys for being patient. Hopefully this is the end of me being inconvenienced by work, because I definitely want to work on this so much more than I already have. So thank you for being patient, those of you who have. Glad to have you watching this, and I'll catch you next time as soon as I can quickly get out of here. Alright, peace out.